Attention gamers. We've all been there. Your auto filled into the second worst island behind Epstein's and immediately there's some weaponized Godzilla crab who woke up today choosing violence. You don't want to burn summoners literally 4 seconds into laning phase, so you endure an absurd amount of kneecap busting until you are looking like a gore scene from Saving Private Ryan, and now you either base and get behind or suck copium out of your own ass until your jungler comes to bail you out. I always choose to stay because the concept of FOMO is undefeated on me, but that just opens up the door for Mr. Waternoose to prove that his greasy grubby 14-year-old reflexes are better than mine, and now I'm shamefully advertised as the victim of the infamous first blood. All I want to do is walk up to lane and experience the small dopamine release I get from seeing gold amounts float out from a dead minion's head, but this kill-hungry crustacean is just breathing that nasty-ass breath in my face, making me play leapfrog and rudely preventing me from existing in the same zip code as my minions. When I do try to stand up to the childhood bully, he just proves that crabs are higher on the food chain than birds in this Rift reality, and I will be getting chain banged back to base. The societal pressures of me not letting a snowball top laner 1v9 split push the game cause me to keep showing up for work even though I know the benefits of this job suck, and now that he has an African American cleaver I know that coming into contact with him is only going to get worse for anyone who seemingly can't figure out how to dodge an ergot Q if his life depended on it. But if this has ever happened to you, I've got the solution. Just leave and never come back. You see, this top lane monopolist may be the perfect combination of damage tankiness and endless amounts of busting ACLs, but you know who isn't? Literally anyone else on the Rift, so welcome to my strat featuring the purple Nikes. I head mid knowing a blind rock bender won't see me coming as I douche dash in to avoid her push pebble. I didn't make the trip for nothing, so I press on and double down with a flash when she thinks she's safe just so I can prepare her for the arrival of Ted, and with it I'm already doing better ignoring my lane. I then hit a reverse LeBron James and take my lack of talent to the South Beach, because if there's one thing I've learned from being hard stuck in piss pit low, it's that a top laner who got stomped all game still has 2 levels on the enemy ADC as I fly in for little what up bitch combo on the cop to nab a quick kill and then run away from an angry first lady who left her accuracy in Thresh's lantern. It's important to note that I'm not trying to avoid top lane but rather their top laner, so when I see Toph the Magnificent feeder to show that I don't need any sense of camera control or even accuracy for that matter to take her down, as long as I have the small pyromaniac by my side, who by the way loves me for my perma-roaming contributions this game. Why would I be top when I can just accompany this small child and her large bear in bullying the blind all over the Rift, and anytime I'm more out of position than a legal adult in Dr. Disrespect's DMs and I run into that weaponized waddling sack of king crab legs, I can just finesse a parkour off his fat fucking face out of there, because I have decided that is not gonna be my problem anymore. That said, because I got shit shafted in laning phase, I'm still not super well nourished by this point in the game, so when I try to get political with the Piltover sheriff's daughter I have to get flashy and pucker my asshole till it cramps just to survive, and while the rest of my team is battling for an objective, I'm battling for my life against a weak handicapped NPC that's whole purpose in this game is to die an unmemorable death. But despite having not settled down in a lane since the early game, I'm still 3 years senior this Senna, which means she's going to experience what League of Legends is designed to feel like for an underleveled marksman in this meta. All of a sudden their entire team is living in fear as if they just said a slur on their stream and were waiting for the ban hammer until we came in content policy violation their asses, and with all the little useless peons out of the way we team up on the out of control crab. Yeah sure, he built tanky bruiser items, which just means he can still one-tap our mid laner, but I made sure he wasn't my problem anymore and that taming this amphibious fuck would now be a group project. I have officially gone from the loser who can't lane to being everywhere at all times, saying no ma'am you won't be Lil Harvey Oswalding anyone today, and then reuniting with the boys to watch Obama's wife get baptized in her own fountain. I do a little wide receiver juke on Mr. Waternoose and then I resume my duties at the dead bitch procurement facility. But I'm also a consummate wingman, so when I see a butt-naked bare knuckle muckgora going on between 2 morons, I'm in there faster than EDP 445 is in the new cupcake shop in town to make it rain some assist-worthy sky arrows and once again be rewarded with her conditional love. This game that started off poorly has transformed into my team being a synchronized yet mobilized slaughter unit, killing every last rockbender in town and then proceeding to avoid interactions with the 6-legged spider I was placed on an island with at the start of the game. Side note, check this out, I like to call this move the wait bait in and beat a bitch combo. Jokes and the one misplay that I've ever made in my entire 10-year League of Legends career aside, I think it's pretty evident that I was having a much better time than their ADC, who I guess couldn't decide who to give her flash to in her will, so she just used it up before she died like a selfish privileged mall cop. And then I tried one more attempt at setting the official world record of how fast can you make a full health support disappear in front of your eyes, and we did it. We took a game that was on pace with me wanting to eat Tide Pods IRL in game and turned it into a snowball fiasco that I dare say was actually fun, and here is the breakdown of how this is possible. First, you pick this lesbian bird breeder. Here are the runes for all the kids that are about to first time this, and ranked you basically pick the red ones and then anything that says movement speed in it. Rush the purple Nikes and have your bird taxi you around so that they transform into perma rapid recall insanity boots, and then your perma roam as you can be anywhere on the rift within 13 seconds of an empowered recall. So with that, let's get into another example of how this plays out. This one I'm against one of those top-hatted Australian rooster riding bastards, which is typically a nightmare to deal with, but this particular one doesn't know how to place wards, which means he's gonna have quite the fake orgasm surprised face when he sees man bear pig touching his ass fur. He does mount up, but we quickly kill off the kangaroo, as I know even without it he will make this 1v2 a close fight, and my jungler will never show his face around here again if I don't make his first experience a good time. This allows me to buy the symbiotic Skechers before the 5-minute mark and to immediately start the epic countdown until perma roaming is unlocked. I hired my pink-tinted taxi driver and told her to take me to the nearest future dead bitch, to which she drives us straight to the enemy team's Orianna as I right-click a few times, drop my Q on the ground and then secure another kill. Then a minute later I still need to put some mileage on these purple pumas, so I take another trip mid for a little "Hey girl, what's up" the sequel, and after Ziggs realizes he's of negative help he says fuck it, lends us a nuke, and we all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. My bot lane is getting shit on worse than someone competing with Streamer Neon in a who's more annoying at a piece of shit competition, so I head down there to see that they are just going to double down on the whole let's re-bench the Kench efforts. It's a suicide mission, but a successful one, as this Jinx is gonna owe me a soda for giving the bad guys more gold, as only then are we able to pick up the remaining pieces. At this point I had the choice to play against a top laner, or I can see a group of criminals mid who just peer pressured each other into group homiciding half my team and show that such lawless behavior won't be permitted by bitch slapping the Butterfree. Then I loop around because I just know that my Jinx is magnetically altered to getting picked and trying her absolute best to make sure the enemy stays fed, so I head back in to make sure that ball gagging ballerina isn't present when three of us do dirty things to her team's support to show that we don't condone people playing Leona. My boots are transformed, which means I'm about as fast as the 2016 Keemstar thought he was, but I also don't want to deal with the large moth who looks like she wants to give me a hug, so when my ability to dodge phones in sick to work that day I have to flash out. That said, I follow a strict mentality of no man left behind, even if that man sometimes identifies as a turtle or a bear or just a gapped jungler, so I have to at least avenge his death. Then I have one quick chore to take care of up top. That's all, then back to hanging out with this absolute donkey of a mid laner who looks at her mini-map less than as Mungold looks at salads, and with that I'm 7-0, but unfortunately I was about to learn that whoever was feeding this Belveth was quite the fucking chef, because that hoe most definitely was not going hungry. Eventually my presence everywhere but top would leave my lane mate feeling lonely, so he would come flying in on his rolling pumpkin of an ult, which initially was looking bad as I didn't want to touch that team fight with a 10-foot pole, but then I remembered that I'm literally the only one on my team with any gold or brain cells, so I do commit and things turn around for the good guys. We are somehow losing in kills despite the KDA on my resume looking quite hire worthy, but thankfully team fights were still looking like this. That said, even though I could invert the anuses of half their team, I quickly learned that all their gold was being held on this weaponized butterfly, and I was apparently outgunned, so thank God that Diabetic Toad bailed me out so that I could live to tell the story of the failed flash where I dodged my own Jinx's ult and came out on top. At this point my nomadic lifestyle left me big and strong enough to look at my bullshit top lane partner in the eyes, tell him he won't be running away from this fight, and then violently right-click him before he can summon that shit back. Things were looking good as I was just securing every objective on the map until this happened. My new mission would be to punish that bitch no matter what got in the way. Turns out despite me being able to one-tap the tie-dyed lizard, their Butterfree had evolved into something that Ash Ketchum and the rest of my team apparently couldn't catch. This resulted in a situation where our base was getting tapped from so many angles you'd think it was featured on a video with Mia Khalifa in the search bar, but I chose to take my anger out on the Scuttle Stealer and then distract the rest of the killers long enough for my base to survive to fight another day. It was becoming obvious that the 4 beginner bots that Riot was trying to pass off as my human teammates in this one weren't going to help win the game, so my new objective was going to be to teach this robotic bitch a lesson. I executed the carries anytime I saw them to the point where we had some hope in winning team fights, but if you take one look at the scoreboard you will learn once again that while there's no I in team, there are 4 I's in inting idiots, and that is too much for my hard stuck ass to carry. Try the perma roam Quinn build out yourself and let me know how it goes. Rav out.